Welcome everyone. Today we have a new Infinite Blink Summoners build. Yes, the patch is out and I have been testing this, and yes, we are using the Temporalis chest piece. But don't worry guys, I have an adjustment for you guys if you do not have this uber unique chest piece for Infinite Blink. And you can see the recordings, I'm still getting used to it. I'm like blinking into walls, blinking everywhere. But you can see that in this demonstration, the Blink Summoner is not active, and this gives us so much mobility. Currently, I'm testing in one of the new tower maps. So yes, there's a new tower layout. I'm not sure how much I like about this. I do like the tower map being not having a very narrow corridor, which is great for summoners, because mini AI is still not great. But with the Infinite Blink, you can do this. And I am able to travel across the tower, the Lost Tower, super fast. And you can see over here, I have gotten to the Lost Tower, gotten to the end. I was like, whoa, that is fast, right? So let me show you guys a little more demonstrations in a variety of different maps. So here, we'll be going into a tier 17 map, and this is going to be one of those map with bosses. Too excited, fumbling my words. So what you're seeing is I am summoning majority skeleton snipers. I am blinking around as fast as I can. Usually, if I get a chance, I'll summon some fire spirits and cast a flame wall, but it's not an ideal. I don't need to do that. I can just be blinking through walls, blinking across the map, and the monsters are summoned on top of me because of the latest patch change. If you guys didn't know, previously, if you go too far away from the monsters, they will get desummoned. But with the latest patch change, I can purposely go out of the map and teleport my skeleton minions next to me. So this means they are no longer stacked by corridors, and should I want them to be stronger, I can cast the curses, I can cast my rituals, and then they can start to one-shot enemies down with a pinpoint focus. So how good is this setup? I did test this one multiple times in a variety of different maps, and by the looks of it guys, if it's an open map, this is amazing. Over 100 or 200% better mobility for the summoners, because as you're going to see later in my choices of items, I am no longer needing movement speed on my boots, and this actually frees up to a boots that gives you 20 plus reservation reduction to your skeleton minions, which is an incredibly powerful unique item. So over here what you can see is I'm testing in another map, and this is again an open map compared to the previous closed corridor map. And because you can be blinking around, I purposely blink far enough so the minions gets resummoned to me, and then I can loop around. You can see I pretty much cleared this entire map just by blinking within 1 to 2 minutes. And just to show you guys a demonstration against any of the elites we face, we don't have any problems. And currently this is a testing for a tier 16 map just to find the open map. You can see we're getting tons of tier 15 waystones, and my latest build seems to be working perfectly fine in this setup. I haven't updated majorly, but I'll be showcasing this build with you guys very soon. So just to show you guys a little further. Now, against the boss, I do recommend changing your gears a little bit. You don't need Temporalis to be blinking around the boss, as I'll explain, because it just doesn't help. And yes, you can be adjusting your gears to make yourself tankier, together with adjusting one socket gems in my build, which will greatly increase your damage by another 100%, because Scatter Shot actually reduces your damage. And having a Spirit Chest, I can summon 30 skeletons. So let me show you guys the damage over here against the boss. So yes, the build will have a bossing variant, and the build will also have a mapping variant. And before the boss starts, you can set up the curses, you can set up your flame walls, and this boss actually took a while. So once you set everything up, the skeleton snipers will pretty much one-shot or two-shot the boss. And the boss went to invulnerability. I was like, huh? So there we go. That was the boss fight. Now just to showcase a little further, once after the boss fight, it takes about 10-15 seconds to change into my previous setup. So notice over here, I'm changing into my previous setup after the boss fight. And then what I'm going to do is I'll show you how fast the build is to clear the map. So 10 seconds, I change to my previous mobility setup. And let's have a look at this. So I'll be blinking around in this map to hunt down all the rare monsters. Now, usually in my previous summoners gameplay, this is terrible, because look how far I have to backtrack. Now, I literally have to backtrack the entire map and also search for those rare monsters. But with the latest changes, we're traveling super fast. Even though I got lost a little bit, you can see that we can just traveling, blinking onto rare monsters, and then one-shotting them, and then move on to the next one. And this is pretty amazing. So just to show you guys the space we covered with this new setup. So with the Infinite Blink, you can travel around without needing mobility. And look at this map. usually this would have killed me. I was like, oh my gosh, why do I have to go back, right? But look how fast I traveled. Within 10 seconds or 5 seconds, we're already on to the next rare. And then after killing this one, getting my loots of course, and then we go to the next one. So yes, the build is amazing with the latest patch change for the infinite blink summoners. And yes, I have made some changes to my build and I'll share it with you guys in the second part of this video. So coming over to my character, and let's briefly talk about how the build functions and also how my summoner build work in survivability and also damage. Of course, you'll be going with Temporalis, and this likely will reduce your cooldown to blink to 0 seconds. And because there's a millisecond delay, it's not the biggest deal. So blink is combined over here, and yes, I am spending the 60 reserve spirit just to have blink activated on weapon set 1. I'll teach you guys what to do when you don't have this chest piece. You can combine blink with shield charge for some good mobility as well. Blink is supposed to or should be quality 20% for lower cooldowns. Together with combining with ingenuity, you can now blink non-stop, and that is the highlight for the build. And that is the mobility part for the build. In terms of survivability, I am gaining additional mana per killing enemies when my skeleton minions kills enemies. I have around 1600 or 1700 mana, which is not the highest, but I have Mind Over Matter, which protects me both with my mana and also with my energy shield and also with my life. At the same time, a lot of my jewels are tailor-made or selected to have mana on kill, which add up to over 10% mana on kill. So each time my skeleton minion kills one enemy, this will translate to me killing the enemy, and then in return giving me over 100 to 200 mana per kill, which combined with Mind Over Matter makes this build very durable and also very sustainable with a lot of enemies. And this is also great, I can adjust for the setup for the boss fight, and this will give me over 100% more damage with over 30 skeletons summoned. So now that we had a look at the core aspects of the build, let's briefly have a look at the skill links. And yes guys, I am not level 90 yet, I'm level 87, so you don't see me having the last section of the choices of the Summoning Infernal Hound. But we do have a builder's guide which I'll update for you guys to show you all the 6 links should you want to go for those. So for the Infernal Hound, I'll just show you guys over here. I am going with Splinter, Heavy Swing, Demonisher, and also Fire Mastery. For the final socket, I can go with Minion Mastery for +1 more level. The Infernal Hell is here to armor break enemies with higher physical damage, and once the armor broken, my physical snipers then can go to ham. So, for the skeleton snipers, I do have a tip. Notice that my skeleton snipers have 23% quality. I was able to pick up this jewel or this gem for less than 2 divine. I do recommend buying those, and getting this to the highest level is good. Getting to +1 corruption level is really good, but it costs over 20 divines. But the cheaper version is to get this one to 11% reservation of spirit. In combination with those pairs of boots, I have massive reduction to my spirits. And this means when I put on my spirit chest, all of a sudden you can see I summon over 30 or close to 30 skeletons. Sometimes 30, I'm not sure why, sometimes it's like 29. But anyways, this is the hidden combination for the summoners build. You want 23% breakpoint quality if you can when they're corrupted. And it's not that expensive, about 2 to 3 divine compared to +1 level, which is over 20 divine. So combining with those boots, I get a lot more summons. Now during this time, my skeleton snipers are combined with Feeding Frenzy, Heft, Martial Tempo, Brutality, and also Scatter Shot for mapping. Should I want to go for bossing, I definitely want to go with Physical Mastery. So let me show you guys the damage numbers over here, and you can see this is 8500. If I take this jewel off, this actually gives me almost doubled the damage, because this actually reduces your damage in attack speed, casting speed, and also less damage. So if I put on this gem, notice here I have pretty much doubled my damage. So this simple swap before the boss fight will allow you to have double the damage. But against the map, you don't need that much damage. You actually want more map clear with Scatter Shot. It is okay to go with Chen as well, but I think Scatter Shot is a little better in an open map. Now in terms of the damage boosting, we're going with Pain Offering. You can get this skill to, again, 20% quality, but just increase the aura, so it's not the biggest deal. So here we have Persistence, we have Application, we have Dense Macab, and also Front Up Rage for even higher damage. Now just showcasing you guys the damage over here, 8,000 over here. So if I cast my pike and notice over here, it almost doubled. It's like 21,000 or triple the damage because of Pain Offering. So even though you want to be lazy, you can cast this one against the rares and also against the boss, massive damage. For my Flame Wall, I'm summoning this one with the Summoning Raging Spirit, of course. So Flame Wall is combined with Spell Cascade, Fortress, Arcane Surge, and also Mobility for even higher movement. So here, when I cast my Flame Wall, it is 3 Flame Walls, look at that. And when the Skeleton Archers shoot through the Flame Wall, they will gain bonus flat fire damage. In terms of my Raging Spirit, they're here to disable enemies with Blind, with Crawling Strike, which is great for one-shotting enemies, and also Man and also Pin, so a lot of disable. Now we have talked about Blink before. Blink is here in weapon set 1 because I want to constantly blinking and also resetting my minions combined with Ingenuity. Now we'll talk about the rotation if you don't have the chest very soon. So here in terms of the curse, I am running Vulnerability and I have corrupted this gem to +1 level just to make it a little stronger if I can. So this is combined with Curse Ground, with Heightened Curse, and also with Inspiration. I like to have my curses here, and this is actually a second weapon set curse for a bigger radius and also stronger effect. If you guys don't know how to do the second weapon set, you can see when I cast curses, it increases effect, and also radius. But when I go for weapons, the first weapon, this one increases the minion damage, meaning critical rate. So there is a guide to teach you guys about this. And in combining with Flame Wall, so what I want to show you guys is it's automated that when I cast Vulnerability, it goes to the second weapon set. When I cast Flame Wall, it comes back to the first weapon set. Again, guys, check out the links below for how to do this properly to gain a lot of more perks and a lot of more stats. Now over here, I have tested with Mana Remnant, with Grimfest, and also with Skeleton Stone Mages. I don't want to recommend going for those unless you need the survivability or want the bonus damage coming from Storm Fire, which in that sense, it's a too heavy burden on your spirit, especially you're losing a lot of spirit by switching out of this massive spirit chest, because Temporalis doesn't give us much spirit. So in that sense, I don't recommend going for those unless you have a lot more spirits. So now briefly coming over my choice of gears. I have to admit guys, this is not going to be a super expensive build. I did not buy the Temporalis. I actually borrowed this from my friend Dramkast. If you look at his previous videos, this is actually the similar chest piece. I just wanted to test. And after this, I'll actually show you guys how to set up without the Temporalis. And I have tested, it seems to be decent. Not broken like this one, like Infinite Blink, but it seems to be decent. So let's go through my choice of gears first, and then we go through the adjustment and also the passive tree. I invested about 3 to 4 divines onto this scepter. It is a little more expensive now. You want more spirit and also +5 to minion skills if you can. For the helmet, you want +2 to minion skills, lots of life, lots of mana, resistance, and if it is corrupted correctly, you can be getting up to 30 spirit or +1 to minion skills. For the amulet, it is here to give me +3 to minion skills and also a bit of damage recouped as mana because I have Mind Over Matter, with tons of life, resistance if you can, and also mana, and anything else is a bonus with rarity. It is anointed with a very cheap anointment over here that gives me more block chance and also more defense from the shield. You can see that my defense is a little higher, especially when I have this one, it is 31%. Having this one is 21%. So coming back over here, we have the shield. You want a really high block chance shield, you want more armor, more life, any stats, and also more resistance. I tried to corrupt this shield, but no luck into getting another socket. As for the rings, ideally, the better setup is with a bridge rings and also Ingenuity build, but we have a budget set version. So those rings cost me less than 1 divine, like 50 to 100 exalt most. So here for this ring, I have maximum life, maximum mana, dexterity, all resist, and chaos resist. I'm trying to get all my resist to over or 875%, but at the moment with this new chest, I have to main and max a little bit later. Similarly for this ring, we have increased fire, well not increased fire, we have maximum life, mana, any stats, resistance, everything needed. Now, if you have seen our previous crafting video, you can see my rings and also amulets are quality to 20, which means I can adjust the life and also resistance modifiers to have even higher resistance. You can see cold resistance, it's 44%, and this is because of the cold modifiers. So make sure you check the previous crafting video on how to do this. Basically, you use the right catalyst for the modifiers, and then you increase the ring's quality by at least 20% or 50% if it's a bridge ring. As for the build, it's very straightforward. I need a bit of armor. You can see not much armor and also lose a lot of stats. So I need the stats, I need maximum life, and I wanted resistance. In terms of the boots, this is a massive factor. So let me show you guys the boots. My previous boots are those. Tons of resistance, great movement speed, and also lots of resist and also stats. But the current boots is amazing. So this particular boots can be corrupted for 2 sockets, or it can be corrupted up to 23% reduced reservation. Now here's the catch, guys. I tried it with 20%, I tried it with 21%. The bigger factor was actually the quality 23 over here with 11% reduced reservation. So this combined, there was no breakpoint at 21% or 23%. So if you have a 20%, those boots are fine. So let me show you how many more skeletons I could summon with those boots. So I will be having 17 skeletons if I use a normal pair of boots. But if I use this pair of boots, I can summon 6, 7 more skeletons. That is pretty crazy, right? That just pretty much almost doubled or 60% increased my damage. Now, just to show you my spirit over here, I'm currently sitting on 9 spirit. So to show you guys over here, 9 spirit. If I put down this 21% boots, it doesn't change. Simply because it did not hit a breakpoint at 21% or 23%. Those are corrupted. I bought those to try. It did not work. So if you guys are going for it, you can go for the 20%, getting 2 sockets, that is fine. Now I know what some of you might be asking, hey Matt, how do you get over 30 skeleton snipers? Well, it's when you change for the bossing set and changing out of Temporalis. So here you can see before the boss starts, I'm actually changing my skills, my gems, and also resummoning skeletons. So notice that once I change into the bossing set, from 24, I go to 30 summoning skeleton snipers. So this is the thing. It is harder to get more spirit with Temporalis, but before the boss fight, if you change this, notice I have 30 skeletons and skeleton snipers, of course. So with the reservation of the boots, reservation of the spirit gems, this combined to allow me to have 30 skeletons. And of course, this is before the boss setup. For the maps, you don't really need that many summons because it looks good, but everything's getting one-shotted anyways. But for the boss, you can adjust this one for the pinnacle boss to deal even higher damage. Finally, you can also corrupt those gloves for 2 sockets, and those gloves allows my minion kills to count as my own, which gains me over 200 mana per kill and makes us unkillable in most of the maps if you play correctly. You can also pop your mana potions, and this works fine. My potions are very standard. I haven't upgraded those. Amount recovered, increased charges, and here I am a little greedy with more rarity, with a little golden frog, with even more mana gain and also more charges. So coming over to my passive, I have purposely not perked into the energy shield because I'm not getting enough points for bonus energy shield. The bonus life also contributes or helps me towards having more spirit, which is close to 500 with this chest. And if I put this chest on, I have close to, let me show you guys, 575 spirit, which is pretty amazing, right? So how does the passive work? I'm a little low level, so you guys are probably much stronger than me. We go over here for the minion damage and also bonuses for mana and also faster revive. I probably don't even need this anymore because I don't need them to be revived so fast. And here we get some more faster revives and also more life. And pathing over here, we get some more intelligence and also the bonus damage for the minions. And here a little more critical damage. And here we have a little more resist and also better recovery. The biggest part is over here that provides us with more reduction to minion reservation. And here I have perked everything over here so that this jewel can work. This is one of the most expensive piece of the build other than the chest piece. Everything else is pretty much 3, 5 or less than 1 divine. This jewel, I bought this one for around 20 divine. It is selling for around 22 to 30 divine at the moment. You do not need the bonus strength. You want plus 10, 11 or 12 spirit if you can. And this is the reason I was able to get a lot of spirit. So if I take this off, actually my gears will go out of thing. But this pretty much added around 90 plus spirit for me because of all the passive that is socket over here. I even went further to get all the passives over here as well, as you can see. So how do you search for this jewel? We do have a video to teach you about this, and make sure you check the videos below to how to search those ones correctly to find the right ones for yourself. Now in terms of the other jewel socketing, here I'm focused on mana per kill, minion damage, or anything that's great for minion. It is not the best Jew sockets, and you can see most of them are very standard for some resistance and also for some mana per kill. I'm just focusing on 2 of the red stats. And here my minions are a little more durable with more resist, but you can go with more minion damage and also more gain on life and also mana. This one is really good because I recover life and mana when my minions kills enemies because of those gloves. And as you can see over here, very similar, gaining life, mana on kill, and also more bonus stats towards the minions. Now, I have mentioned earlier what to do if you don't have the Temporalis chest. So here's the adjustment over here. Well, the first thing is, if you do want to keep those boots, you have less mobility, but you can summon a lot more minions. So you can see that with those boots, look at my minion summon, I can get over 33 minions. And because of the boots and also massive increase of my spirit. The second thing you want to notice is you need to have enough spirits or consider enough spirits to go for blink. But you no longer need to blink on your first weapon set. So my blink is changed to second weapon set. And here I'll be combining this one with shield charge for the first weapon set, and then actually the second weapon set, and this will allow us to have a cool combination. Let me show you guys a little adjustment that if you don't have Temporalis, what you can do. So notice I'm pretty slow, right? But if I charge and double blink and cast my spells, the minions are back. So let's try this again. I charge, and the blink is on cooldown, of course. So basically, you can still use a great mobility setup for a slow summoners build if you have this adjustment. So let me show you guys again. So I charge, I blink again, then I summon my stuff. It is not as ideal, but you do have more summon units. And here's a bug, by the way. This is a visual bug. So because I can save 60 spirit, having this one back on the secondary weapon set, and this allows me to swap between the skills using shield charge and also blink for great mobility. It is not that terrible, guys. If you don't have this chest, it can still work. Let me show you guys the combo again. So when I cast shield charge, it automatically changes the skill, and then I blink, and then I'm stuck here. But then if I cast my flame wall, it changes back. So this is to play around with the weapon swap to allow us to have mobility without the need for this over 50 or 80 divine chest. It is a little slow if you're just running, but if you time your cooldowns correctly, you do this, and then you summon, it can still work. So this is a combination. So should you guys want more information on how to do weapon swaps, we do have a video to teach you guys about this, of course. Now here I do want to apologize for blocking up to show you guys what I mean by the second weapon set, so I added this part in. So here where my mouse is, notice that vulnerability is over here with only second weapon set. And what you can see with shield charges, it goes to second weapon set. And what you can see flame wall is, it goes only with the first weapon set. And if you're using blink without the Temporalis, you want this one only on the second weapon set. But if you're using blink with Temporalis, you want on the first weapon set. And to do this, you need to have enough spirit allocated so it can be on both of the weapon set. So yes, I realized when I was editing, my photo of my head was blocking the way to not show you guys where I'm changing the weapon sets over here, just for clarity. And let me show you guys the adjustment to the skill links if you don't have the Temporalis chest. So here I'm using the shield charge with ingenuity and also unbreakable. This is assigned to secondary weapon. Keep that in mind. This is not tick on the first weapon. So I swap into this one, it changes the skill, it charges, and then blink is only activated on the secondary weapon. So this means blink is combined with second wind for one additional blink but longer cooldowns. But that's okay. So basically, usually in a fight, I'm summoning my dudes, and then I charge, and I blink, and then blink is casted, right? And then I cast my flame wall, which is assigned to first weapon. So notice flame wall is the one that automatically takes us back to the first weapon. So this combination allows you to have some bonus mobility, and then your summon units, they comes back. It is not as perfect as the Temporalis, but it does give you more damage and saves you time in swapping the chest if you don't have those. For a greater mobility, you can use boots like this, but at the moment, I just think you just want those boots because it just provides you with a lot more summons. And of course, guys, let me know what you think on this part. You can still use the older boots, but once I get used to these boots with Temporalis, I can't go back anymore. So now briefly going through the skill rotations and also combination for this build. As you guys can see, it is very smooth gameplay. I do believe the mobility is amazing, and also the ability to resummon units on top of me just gives me so much options. And you can see we're just blinking around. I'm not even summoning my Raging Fire Spirits most of the time because I don't feel the need to. Of course, I can cast my spells and also curse enemies and also do my rituals and also pain offerings to do more damage, but there's no need. I'm basically blinking on top of them and also just mapping non-stop, which is great. And of course, you have seen the version that if you do not have the Temporalis, you can still use shield charge and also blink. It won't be this amazing immobility. You have to wait for the cooldowns every 1 to 2 seconds, but it can still work. So in terms of the fires, nothing too major. I do want to highlight before the boss, if you're using Temporalis, it's not going to help you with stats. So it's better to go with a Spirit Chest that gives you more stats. And against the boss, you don't need to have mana on kill. So I'm actually swapping into a Rare Gloves that gives me more stats. Finally, remember guys, you are switching between the choices of the socketed support. Very important because this will double your damage, because Scatter Shot reduces your damage. This took a little longer because I want to show you guys the setup. Usually it takes less than 10 seconds. And once you come over to the boss, you can set up your curse on the ground, cast in Flame Wars, and then cast your Pain Offering. And that's it. You can just watch the boss getting melted by your skeleton snipers, which is super good in single target damage. And after the boss dies, what you want to do is, you can go back to your mapping setup. And here, let me show you guys. If you get used to this, it happens very fast. In less than 10 seconds, everything's done, and then just move on. And this allows this new Summoner's build to have extreme mobility and also survivability together with tons of single target damage against the boss. Now, should you guys want to see my gears and also things in more details, at the end of the video, I also have highlighted those in the replay as well, should you want to have a look, together with the choices of the gears I used before the boss start. So this way you can see everything I've used. It is a much more budget build, so other than the Spirit Gem and also the chairs, it cost me less than 10 to 20 Divine for this whole build. And if you guys do want more details, I'll be updating this build in the future for you guys for more variant and also even stronger for the end game. Now, hopefully you guys found today's video helpful. Again, a big thank you to everyone on YouTube, especially our supporters and also those of you guys who's been supporting me on Patreon as well. And we do have a new feature on the Mattjestic YouTube channel. If you click onto this, you can become a member. Yes, I've added this just recently, and this will allow you to have early access to videos that is posted a few hours or even half a day earlier if you want to watch those videos a little early. But yes, this will cost money. So please be aware the membership will cost money. And if you do want to watch videos normally, those videos will still be available after 6 to 12 hours, normally on the time we post those videos. And I'll be aiming to post at least one Path of Exile video a day. And this will be including guides, tips, news update, and also the latest tricks that is discovered on both the English and also Chinese community to keep you guys updated. And if you like those videos, make sure you leave a nice comment and also leave a like for those videos.
It's
Now before we finish, if you guys haven't subscribed, this is a really good time to do so because I'll be looking into the latest Path of Exile 2 news on different communities and also on the official forum, official webpage. I'll also be looking into the best build for each of the class as the meta develops with the Chinese and also the English community. So stay tuned for the latest update and also guides for Path of Exile 2. And of course, this is gonna be a big month for us. And I'll try to bring you guys all of the latest content and also guides for Path of Exile 2 to come.